Hello my spooks, and welcome to the Spooky Lounge. As always, I am your host Lucky, and today we have the review for the one, the only Him. Spoiler alert, it did not live up to the hype. But before we get into this review, as always, if you love spooky content just like this, click that bell to be notified anytime we post a new video. Like, share, and subscribe to join the Spooky Lounge today. Let's get back into it. Him, starring Marlon Wayans. Where do I start? The concept of this movie is where I want to start. The concept of this film had me excited. It was one of my biggest films for the year. Jordan Peele being a producer, the way the trailer came out, everything looked to be going exactly how I wanted it to. I did not buy into the Rotten Tomatoes low score when it first came out. I was very excited for this film. And don't get me wrong, this film, while it does have its flaws that we will get into in just a minute, I want to start with the positives of him. Number one, Marlon Wayans as Isaiah White. Take a bow, sir. You absolutely killed this role. I loved everything about your portrayal. I thought having that energy would be super unique, especially since Marlon Wayans is best known for his comedy roles. He really got in his bag in this film and was a scary person to see on screen. Number two, something I enjoyed was actually the camera work and the lighting of this film. This film is very well lit. There's a lot of strobes, there's a lot of psychedelics. That is when this film was working at its best, was when we would have a very impactful scene from Isaiah White. Something would kind of jolt and we would get that psychedelic nature of the film really exposing the monster that is hidden behind the curtain in this movie. Now that we got past the positives, I want to dive a little bit into what really drugged this film down. And the main thing that really drugged this film down, at least to me, was it felt like there was little to no story. And what I mean by this is Justin Tipping, the director, it felt like he was in over his head a little bit. I would have liked to see Jordan Peele direct this movie, and I know Jordan Peele is going to catch heat for this. Jordan Peele was used in a marketing scheme to market him. He was always the producer, never the director. This isn't a Jordan Peele directed film. I want everybody to remember that when you're listening to harsh takes of him. The plot of this film, it felt like Justin Tipping threw a lot of things at the wall. For example, I wanted to get to know Isaiah White's character when you first are introduced to him. I really wanted to kind of see behind the curtain of why he is the way he is, and we didn't ever really get to see that. That was its own subplot in and of itself. We also get an introduction into the fans and how the toxicity of a fan base can be incorporated to a player, and how does that relationship get that toxic. That was a throwaway subplot of the film. Another big swing and a miss that I felt like was really missing in this movie was Tyreek Withers, Cameron Cade's backstory. We get glimpses of it. We see that he tried to quit football and his dad was semi-abusive towards him as a child. He pushed him really, really hard to the point of Cameron wanted to give up the sport altogether, but he stuck through it after his father passed away. And I would have liked to see how that manifested in Cameron and gotten to see a better look at how he operates in comparison to someone like Isaiah White. And the last biggest thing that I wanted to discuss about this was the finale of the movie. And obviously that's a very hot topic, but a lot gets thrown at us in the finale of him. I won't go full into spoilers because I do believe in people going to see this film for themselves, and if you enjoy it more than I did, I still want to hear about it in the comments below. But the finale of him was so underwhelming in my opinion. We were introduced to the owner of the Saviors, which is the team that Cameron is going to be taking over from Isaiah White, or at least in theory that is what is supposed to be happening. They do this whole tribal thing, which I really enjoyed. I'm a massive football fan, but even I can kind of check myself and understand that oftentimes ownership doesn't look at these athletes as people, but rather they push them over the edge and treat them as less than, more so a piece of their business rather than someone who helps them. And that is very prevalent in him when you meet the owner and you see the finale and all of these things. But we never get to watch how Isaiah was led down that path, how the ones before him were led down that path. And in the finale, it takes a very paranormal route, and we just don't really get any solid conclusion as to what happened for the previous hour and 30 minutes of the film. It felt very much so like we were spinning tires and trying to decide where to go in this movie, and then in the end we got this very convoluted mess that just didn't feel like a solid story that I could really chew on. And that's what I was really hoping to see in him. I thought that the premise of it was spectacular, the trailer was spectacular, and there is moments of this film where you can see how good it could have been and how good it should have been. And with all that being said, I sadly have to give him 2 out of 5 knives. I loved bits and pieces, but it just wasn't enough to keep me interested for the full hour and 35 minutes. It's so disheartening to say because I had really high expectations of this film. Leave a comment down below. Have you seen him? What did you think? Maybe your rating's higher than mine, maybe yours is on par. Let me know down below how you guys felt about him. Are you still excited to see it? I want to know you guys' thoughts. And as always, de-stress, regress, and give your mind a rest. And this has been Lucky, and I will see you guys at the lounge in the next one.